Hello everyone, I am so excited because I got a delivery. This is a gift I purchased for myself for my birthday coming up in June. I got it in Savannah. So if you've been following my videos, you know I did a long weekend in Savannah a while ago, I think in April, and basically I saw this and I had to have it. I looked all over Savannah to get one, and what it is, it's a statue for my garden. Now originally this is a statue. It was sculpted by a sculptor. I believe its original title was The Bird Girl. Actually, I think it still is entitled The Bird Girl. The original statue was in Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, and what happened is there was a novel called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, which was published in the early 90s, I believe, and the cover of that book had this statue on it, and it's just like such a haunting, eerie figure. So basically the photographer had gone out and looked around all day, and in the evening, I guess just when he was about to leave, he saw the statue, and just the atmosphere was just right. There was Spanish moss everywhere. It's just a very ethereal type of picture, like very eerie look to this statue. And his picture was the cover of the book, and the book just took off. It was extremely popular. It became a bestseller, and Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, it was turned to a movie, I think in the late 90s, starring Kevin Spacey and John Cusack. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But it's all based on a true story, a fascinating true story of a murder that happened in Savannah. So very, very interesting. And basically, this statue, after that book and movie became famous, was so popular that people were visiting Bonaventure Cemetery to see this statue, and eventually they had to remove it for its own protection. So they removed it, and I think currently it's in a museum in Savannah that you can go and take a look at the original. And every statue is licensed, so it's very expensive. Actually, somebody told me that a lot of people in the South do have statues like this in their garden, but it's not so common up in Canada because I wasn't able to find it anywhere. Like, I think potentially you could have gotten it on Amazon for like an obscene amount, but it was quite a small version, and I wanted the biggest one I can get. And I think this is the biggest one that you're allowed to get because I think the estate of the sculptor only authorized or licensed copies to be made that were not identical to the original statue, so smaller. And I think there's 3 different sizes. This is the biggest one that I was able to get. So anyways, it just arrived yesterday, and I've unwrapped it. I've popped it out here for now. It was raining all day yesterday, and I'm hoping it stands up to our weather here in the Pacific Northwest with all our rain. And so far so good, but yeah, like I talked to the store owner. It was just like a souvenir shop on the riverside, and they said that they should be fine. You don't have to do anything in particular or special. And originally I thought maybe I would drill holes in these 2 bowls to let the water drain because I don't want mosquito breeding. But you know, in the summer at that time, I think the birds would really need the water, so I'm gonna leave it. And actually, you could put bird seed or whatever you like in it, but I think I'm gonna just leave it empty. I don't like that messy look. So if water's in there from the rain, perfect. Birds can use it, like a little bird bath. I haven't decided where I'm gonna place it in the garden yet. I want it to be like a focal point, and I want to be able to see it out my bedroom window so that when I look out, I can see it. I just think it's so, just the little expression on the face, the look, it's just so kind of sad, and you can tell that it would be totally out of place in a cemetery, but it also is very, it draws you in quite a bit, and it makes you ask questions, like wonder, like what's going on there? What's behind that expression? What's behind that sadness? Anyways, yeah, I haven't decided where I'm gonna put it, so I might place it back here under my tree. I might place it in that corner. Yeah, I don't know, somewhere where it's gonna be drawing your attention. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it here because I'm not in any rush to decide. Luckily, it's not terribly heavy, but I also have to be cognizant of potentially wind, where the wind is gonna blow, so I don't want it to topple over or break in any way. Yeah, so super excited about my bird girl statue from Savannah, which is the best souvenir. Like, it was very pricey, definitely, but I figure it's like something that's an investment piece and something that has a story behind it, and those are the best things. I don't like buying like small tchotchkes and stuff in terms of souvenirs. I'd rather have something that might be more expensive, but something that is very significant to me. And I'm a big fan of literature. I am a big fan of, you know, that book as well. So great find in Savannah. And I will always remember that trip every time I look at this statue. Isn't she beautiful? All right, so just kind of swinging over here, I bought this plant stand and put these 2 pots on there because my mother is in her mid-70s now and she can't get around and up and down the stairs as much as she would like to. So I figured this plant stand would be helpful for her to plant some of her spices or herbs and things like that in, and she can do that without having to descend the stairs, can just do it on the deck. So yeah, these are something I'll refresh the soil for her, and then she can plant her cilantro or whatever she wants in there. So hopefully that'll contain her to this area, because otherwise she goes in my garden and plants all over and it kind of drives me nuts. But anyways, yeah, so I'm happy with that plant stand. It was actually a find on Marketplace for $20, so it was quite reasonable, and I made sure the measurements would fit these 2. These are actually railing planters, but our railings are round instead of square, so they didn't fit on the railing. So what I had last year is I had them on the kind of on the ground, but had bricks underneath for drainage, and I didn't really like that look. I just thought like it was fine because we have such a large deck here, but I think will be a lot nicer looking and tidier, and because they're stacked, the water that will drip into this one, so it'll be less wastage of water, and I can move it anywhere I want. So depending on where the sun is, if we want more sun, we can always move it into a sunnier location. So I think the small plants like cilantro and things like that will do well in there, maybe even mint. And turning over here is our winter sowing. So I've got to get these planted up, I think. Oops. Excuse that car there. Yeah, we need to get this planted up. This is Canterbury Bells. There's my larkspur. I'm still holding out hope, even though I don't think there's anything in there, maybe one. And hopefully we can get these 2 growing a bit more. Oh, excuse me, bless me. So yeah, these ones are too small to pot up. It's been raining a lot. Yesterday was raining. So yes, they're definitely moisturized, but this one, I'll have to find some time to pot that up. Also, my peonies are in bloom, so I haven't even seen this, but some of my peonies are blooming. Those are the pink ones there. The rain kind of flattened them yesterday, but you can see those peonies are blooming, and I have other ones that are in kind of marshmallow stage. So those ones I can see down here are getting ready to bloom. So I think those will be blooming in June. So it's nice because lilacs are kind of the May bloomer that smell beautiful, and then in June in June, like, we get the peonies blooming and we get the roses blooming. Hi, so I also wanted to share a plant haul with you guys. So I did go to my favorite nurseries in Abbotsford in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, and I had some great finds that I'd like to share because it's so exciting when you find great deals on plants, isn't it? So it is towards the end of May. We're past the May long weekend, and things kind of start to, the initial planting rush is over, because I think most people have their bedding plants already done in May, so you can get quite a bit of deals now. And this was some great finds I had. And I actually went because I was feeling a little bit down, and don't we all kind of do that, is that we step into a garden center or a nursery and we feel immediately better, and that's how I felt. So back here, these 3 are called Gara, and they are also known as whirling butterflies, and I've also seen them referred to as bee blossom. So they had bright, vivid pink, and they had white, and I've really wanted white for the longest time, but I just couldn't find it. I even tried growing sparkling white Gaura from seed, but unsuccessful. Like my seed starting is not very good. So that was a kind of a waste. So when I saw these, they were half off. They're originally $11.95 and they were marked down to $6. So I picked up 3 because I just wanted that height, that structure. I think that kind of airy feel. I think that'll look really nicely with like the verbena, the purple verbena. That's also kind of like a taller flower. So that kind of airy feel. And for now I just picked up 3, but to be honest, I think I might pick up more. I was so torn between the vivid pink and the white, and these are a perennial, which is awesome because they will come back every year, which is an investment, so a great investment. So I think $6 is worth it, but I figured, you know, that particular nursery is closing down for the season on June 8th, so maybe I'll wait and hopefully I'll go back and buy more, because if you kind of spread it out, you don't feel like you're spending as much. At least I do that sometimes, where if I make it over 3 trips and then I'm spending $18, 6 times 8 or 6 times 3 over a period of visits instead of all at once, it feels like it's okay. That's how I justify it. So there's the whirling butterflies, or the Gaura. This particular variety is called Belleza, Belleza, Belleza Gaura. So yes, I'm excited to put that in, pop it out throughout my long border, and have it just be like this beautiful kind of plant that will kind of blow in the wind, and it will just offset the other colors so nicely. All right, and you know, I've got my coffee cups, which I have had for some time. I've just been waiting to pop it into a planter, which actually I've been acclimatizing it outside. It seems to be doing fine outside, but yeah, I've really got to get that planted. I've just haven't been able to do that because of timing. But yeah, that one I bought a while ago. That one was like $11.95. And then at the other nursery I went to, it's called Devon Greenhouse, and they have amazing deals. So they had all their proven winners marked down from, I think it was originally like $4.75 a pot, and at Home Depot these are like $6.75 a pot. Okay, so Home Depot you're paying $6.75 each, and at the nursery the regular price there it was actually like $4.75. But this week they were doing a clear out of all of these, and they were all marked down to $2. So all of their proven winners, little pots, were $2. So I was just like, wow, that's like the cheapest I have ever seen them. So I just kind of stocked up. They didn't have the best selection, so they didn't have like all of the wide varieties of selection left. They just had a little bit left, but I did pick some of the varieties that I thought I could still make good use of in my garden. So I ended up going a bit crazy and bought all of this whole 2 flats actually. So let me show you what I got. So starting with these impatiens, look how healthy this plant is. Isn't this such a healthy looking plant? So bushy. And this is called Acapulco Purple, and it's an impatient. It's part shade to shade, and I have so many part shade areas in my garden, and that color is so vibrant, kind of matches the impatiens that I've already got in the garden. So I thought this one I can definitely use in my garden, and for $2 for just a healthy plant, I thought it was a screaming deal. So you can see the habit is mounded, and it blooms from planting to frost. It is 10 to 20 inches tall, and it gets you space it between 10 inches and 12 inches. So you don't have to deadhead it, which is great, and you can use it in containers and landscapes, fertilize it regularly, easy care. It's not hardy for us, so it is only hardy in zones 10A, 11B, so it's an annual, but all impatiens in our zone are annuals. But they're so worth it because they give so much flower power in shady areas, which is so hard to find things that will bloom in the shade. So I took all of the ones I could find of that, which I think there was 4 of them. So Acapulco Purple, so beautiful color. I just think that plant is just a rock star, and I have never planted it before, but I've seen it on Garden Answer, I think it was. So you can see like one little bloom there. I think once I got in the ground, because these are so big, they're gonna really explode. Now, let's go to the next plant. So the next plant I got there was only one of these left, but it's a Superbena Cherry Burst. So normally this is not my style, but I figured because I got the cashmere, I wanted to try the Cherry Burst as well. You can see it's got striping, which normally I don't like, but I thought well, $2, let me give it a try. I'm sure I can find a spot for it, maybe at my front door. So it's full sun or part sun, but I think it'll do better in full sun. You can see the plant is not, you know, it's not super bushy, but I think it's very healthy. So I'm excited to try that one out. Now another one I got, I've already got this that I bought it at full price back earlier in the season. It's called Endless Illumination Broalia, and this is a part shade to shade. So I got it in kind of in my back in kind of shadier containers or part shade containers. So I've already talked about this one, but it's a mounded one. Balloons planting to frost, and it's 12 to 16 inches tall, so a little bit taller, and you space it 8 to 10 inches apart. And it, again, you don't need to deadhead it. It's a rebloomer, and you can use it in containers and landscapes. It's easy, and again, it's an annual for us. It's only hardy in zones 9A to 11B, but that one I know is going to do well because I've already got it. So I figured, like, shade plants that flower are such a rare thing, so I know I can find places for that one. So I did get that one as well. I think I got 2 of those, and let's see, the other ones I got, I wanted to try, this is Supertunia Royal Velvet, and I wanted to try this in the ground in my front yard because I usually put Supertunias in containers, and I've never really tried them in the ground. So I figured, why don't I experiment and put this in the ground? And then my front border in the front yard actually has a lot of purple in it. It has Pugster Blue Butterfly, it has lavender. So I figured this might do really well there. And if it gets as it's supposed to get, like a Supertunia huge, that will be really exciting to see that kind of flower power. And usually I have perennials up there, but I thought, let's pop in some annuals and see what happens, especially with a great deal like this. So I got 1, 2, I got 3 of these, and you can see the color of the bloom there. That's kind of faded out, but here's a better one. So it's like a smaller bloom. And my plan was to put that in the long border as an annual to break it up and have some flower power. And then I got 3 thinking I would put in between some of this Superbena Violet Ice. So I got 2 of those to kind of pop within the 3. So this one's Superbena Violet Ice. It's a verbena that takes full to part sun. And let's look at the specs on this one. I've never planted this particular one before, but it's mounding, trailing, planting to frost. It is short, so it's 6 to 12 inches, and you space it 10 to 14 inches apart. Normal water, and again, it's an annual for us. It is only hardy in zones 8A to 11B, and even though I'm 8B, I find that these don't come back for me. So even though technically I'm in the zone where they should be perennial, they're not really for us. So beautiful color. So it's not like the sparkling amethyst, it's more of a solid purple, but I think that does have some variation in the purple. So yeah, I just got 2 of those because I thought I could intersperse the violet Supertunia Royal Velvet with the Superbena Violet Ice. And they weren't the healthiest plants, like there were bigger ones, but these were all that were left. So anyways, so that'll be the front border. And then I thought I would try this Color Blaze Ridiculous Coleus. It was the only Coleus. Ridiculous was the only one that was left, and I've never tried this one. It's a bright red color, kind of a deep red color, I should say. It's sun to shade. Because it is so adaptable, I figured there's definitely somewhere I can put this in the garden. And you can see that Coleus does grow quite tall, so it's upright. It's grown for the foliage, 24 to 40 inches tall. So yeah, quite a bit taller than the other plants. And you space it 18 to 24 inches apart. You can use it in containers and landscapes. It's sun to shade, and it is an annual for us because it's only hardy in zones 10A to 11B. But I think it's a little bit unhappy in its little pot here. You can see, but I like how it has some green on it as well. I think when I put it in a container, then it's going to do a lot better. So excited to see how that one does. And I just got one of those. And I got 3 of these Snow Princess Lobularia because this kind of reminded me of lobelia. but it's actually lobularia. So I love the color on that. So I just saw that color and I thought, wow, that's beautiful. So I got 3 of those, and basically they are trailing. They are short, so 10 to 16 inches, and they're good for containers and landscapes. I think they would look really nice in containers because of that trailing habit and that color. They take full depart sun, and they're annual for us, except in zones 9A to 11B. So I got 3 of those, no princess lobularia, beautiful colors on those. So that's, look at that, really healthy plants. They just want to get out of their pot. Then I got one, which is, I only got one because there was only one left of this. Look at this. It is, look at that color on it. Close up on that. Isn't that beautiful? Kind of looks like a sunset. So what this is a Supertinia persimmon. So there's only one of these, and it's a little bit of a different color story than the rest of the ones I got. So I'll probably put it in a different location, but it's full depart sun. And mounding, trailing, and it's short, so 4 to 8 inches tall, 12 to 24 inches apart, and it is a annual because it's only hardy in zones 10A and above, and it's easy care. So yeah, I think I can find a spot for that. I just think the color on that is so beautiful. So even though it's a little different color story, I was like, I can find a spot for that for $2, and you can see it's really eager to get out of the pot. I think it's going to be pretty vigorous. So these are heliotrope that I had purchased before, so those are already there. This is a mystery plant that I'm not sure what it is. See that? It was in one of my annual containers and that I had bought, and I wasn't sure what it is, so we'll see. Last but not least, I got Super Bell's Black Currant Punch, and it's full depart sun. You can see, look at the blooms. It doesn't really look like the tag, so I was thinking maybe the tag is incorrect. I don't know, but let's just see. It says, yeah, there's that dark eye isn't on those blooms, but we'll see. It could be just because it's not in a bigger pot. Full depart sun, it's Calibrachoa, and it is mounding, trailing, short, so it's 6 to 12 inches, 8 to 12 inches apart, and it is good in containers, easy care, and it says fertilize regularly, full depart sun, and it's an annual for us. It is hardy in zones 9A and above. So this one, I'm not really sure if this is a Calibrachoa Super Bells, but I looked at the blooms, and whatever it is, it's beautiful. So I think I'm gonna put that somewhere in a container and see what it does, because regardless of what it is beautiful. That was my plant haul from yesterday. And I'm just on my lunch break here, working from home today. So I wanted to show that while we have a gap in the rain. So here we go. And I don't know when I'm gonna get these planted, probably on the weekend, but it has been raining, and it's been colder than normal. So everybody's really annoyed because we all wanna get into our garden, but the weather's not cooperating. And of course today it's not raining, it's a little bit of sun, but of course have to go to work, unfortunately. So there we go. And this is my container I had potted up a while ago. You can see this hellebore bloom is kind of past its prime, so I'm gonna have to deadhead that and then tidy it up. But you can see my verbena is starting to bloom. The heliotrope, it smells beautiful. Everything is happy. Got water from the rain, so looking good. So excited to add these to my garden, these new finds. It's such a great deal. And I just feel like when there's such a good deal like that, $2 a pot, like when they're usually like $6 or $7, you can buy more. So yes, we'll get those potted up, and I'll show you after I get them potted up where they all end up. So it is just a few minutes later and the storm clouds have rolled in. So much for a little bit of sun. I can hear thunder. So looks like a storm is coming. summer, so I'm gonna have to trim off all of this, all these spent buds or these spent blooms, and then hope for a rebloom. I haven't had that much luck in getting them to rebloom, but the best chance you have is trimming them as soon as possible after they bloomed. Can you hear that? It's like rolling thunder. We just had a little bit of hail a minute ago. And there was a flash of lightning a little while back. So, spring storm. That definitely puts a kibosh on any gardening today.